Oh hey look, another van review. If it is a van, why is it classed as a muscle car? Why can't I mod it from the start? And if it is in love, why does it hurt so bad? Make me feel so sad inside. New edition? Anybody? That's right, I'm a boomer, I forgot. Alright, this is the excerpt from Benny's Motorworks. It may look like a sturdy, affordable minivan with high seating capacity and low build quality. Sure, its manufacturers were happy to a complete lack of features and utter disregard for good looks, but mindless acceptance of obvious facts did not make this country what it is today. Forget about what the Moonbeam is, and start thinking about what a stunted adolescent with thousands of dollars can pay for it to be. Eligible for customization at Benny's Original Motorworks. Now for this review, I'm going to be reviewing both the normal and custom version. Performance-wise, the van handles and drives the exact same regardless of the lowrider conversion or not. I prefer the lowrider version because it gives you access to all the extras features in GTA 4, including roof extension, rear panels, and a spare tire. Plus, I feel like the lowrider actually looks cooler due to it being, well, lower. I have no idea what the controls are for the hydraulics. I don't even care about the hydraulics anyway, so there you go. I also replaced the stock ugly lowrider rims from Benny's with some poverty spec steelies because let's face it, you're driving a van. You ain't rich, plus it fits the car way better. The Moonbeam, unlike the Yoga, has had a rich history in the series, starting all the way back in GTA 3. This is also one of the few vehicles that has hardly changed design-wise through the series. Throughout the games, the Moonbeam resembled a first-generation Chevy Astro / GMC Safari van. Funnily enough, in the older games, according to the handling.cfg file, in GTA 3 and Vice City, the van was originally front-wheel drive, while in San Andreas, VCS, and LCS, the van was rear-wheel drive like its counterpart. Then in GTA 4, the van finally got a much-needed HD refresh. It still resembled the same van, but it had a much higher polygon count. It looked a lot nicer. Funnily enough, GM actually made an all-wheel drive version of this van too, which I showed off in an older video of me drifting down the Dragon Range, an initial D-style toge track in the highly underrated game Enthusia Professional Racing. I'll leave a card up above to that video as well, and perhaps I'll make some more videos of me doing stupid stuff in that game, if I can get my capture card working anyway. As shown in this old Motor Week review, the Astro / Safari could be fitted with a 2.5 liter Iron Duke 4-banger with a whopping 98 horsepower, or a 4.3 liter V6 with either 165 or 200 horsepower. I'm not sure how good the 4-cylinder was, but with a curb weight of up to nearly 4,500 pounds, I imagine it would be painfully slow. Thankfully, it was only offered on the cargo version of this van. Alright, so as far as specs go, according to the in-game models and badging, the Moonbeam features a 3500cc, or 3.5 liter, single overhead cam, V8. Pretty, it's pretty close to the real-life van, I guess. For some reason, though, on the custom model, there appears to be double-barrel carburetors, which is a bit odd, to say the least, because, well, I actually asked one of my. I'm going off the script here for a sec. I asked one of my friends, who's a bit of a GM expert, I guess you could say, and I said, "Hey, Chris, you're a GM guy. On the first generation GMC Safari / Astro van, did they have fuel injection or carburation? Now, I guess it all depends on what engine it is. I'm going to assume that the V6 had fuel injection, while the 4-cylinder probably had carburation. So we're going to just base this off the V6 here. I'm going to assume that this is a mid 80s van, so it's going to probably have throttle body fuel injection. Now, the reason why I say this is because this is what he said, and think about it, it's the mid 80s. Fuel injection isn't really quite there yet, so they're still kind of using carburetors in the mid 80s because it's what works. You know, I like to think of GM in the 80s as like that boomer who refuses to upgrade his cell phone. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, I'm not going to say carburetors are bad. You know, they're perfectly fine. But to use a carburetor on a modern car today, well, that's obviously, you know, kind of retarded. But carburetors on a mid-80s van, that's perfectly reasonable. But because this is a V8, I'm going to safely assume it's probably fuel injected. And more than likely, Rockstar probably thinks most people who play this game don't know a lot about cars, so they'll probably think, oh, they'll think it looks cool, whatever, you know. The only difference with the Moonbeam Custom, obviously, is it's slower, which doesn't really change the handling at all. I also added the roof extension, making it look more like a conversion van. Gosh, remember conversion vans? I heard back in the 90s, if your family had a conversion van, you were like one of the coolest kids on the block. TVs, reclining chairs. They even still make those things, believe it or not. Anyway, so a lot of these mods aren't actually available on the regular Moonbeam, unfortunately. You have to buy the custom to get the roof extension, the spare tire, and the rear panels, which is kind of dumb. I don't like that. It's kind of like, it's almost like they're preying on your nostalgia for the old van from GTA 4 just to get you to buy this, which is kind of stupid, honestly. Anyway, back on topic. Also, one thing I want to do is say, the interior though is a bit different than the standard Moonbeam. You can have a custom like colored interior, which I guess is okay. I opted for just standard interior. I didn't get the stupid speakers. I didn't get the stupid weird early 2000s Need for Speed interior. I just opted for the regular interior, regular seats, and I also opted for the regular hydraulics because I don't want to use the hydraulics. I don't care about the hydraulics. I just want the extra features on the Moonbeam, but you have to buy the custom version for that, which is stupid. Being a rear-wheel drive van, you think, this probably handles pretty close to Yoga. No, not quite. It does handle very well at low speeds, but at high speed it tends to oversteer. I tested both the normal version and the custom version, and I tried doing some high-speed turns on the windier roads of San Andreas, and it oversteers quite a bit. As far as 0 to 60 goes, the van is quite slow, as you'd imagine. It takes about, I think, 10.3 seconds to get to 60. So, you know, pretty par for the course for a van, honestly. What's really cool about this van, though, is that the rear doors can slide open, allowing rear passengers to use double-handed or two-handed weapons like machine guns, shotguns, and assault rifles. Also, seeing my character aim out of the back seat makes you realize just how janky and dated the animations look. I mean, good God. I mean, granted, this game is almost 8 years old at this point, so, I mean, I can't really blame it, honestly. I honestly feel like you were never meant to see those animations, to be honest. I suppose because of this unique feature, we could use some sort of improvised drive-by vehicle of sorts, I suppose. One thing I never did mention in my minivan review is that on the custom version, that also has sliding doors, like the Moonbeam, but I'll never review it. It's just the same van with some coilovers and extra features, basically. I mean, not coilovers, hydraulics, but let's be fair, it's literally just the same van with just fancy interior. So, never gonna review it, guys. Sorry. While the van itself is a novelty, and it definitely is different, I see no practical use for it. Rockstar also made a pretty dumb mistake making this car in muscle car class. I'd say put it in the vans class, but who the hell races vans anymore, honestly? And also, I removed it from the custom, the creator mode, so I mean, I can't even make a custom van race anymore in the creator mode, so what's the point of that? It doesn't matter anyway. We all know the best van is the Taco van, of course. 1988, the Declasse Moonbeam. Not as cool as the Yoga, but it's a van. What did you expect? Well, there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the Declasse Moonbeam. Probably not one of my favorite cars in the game. I mean, I remember it fondly from the older games because it was the van. It was the car you drive when you couldn't find anything else on the street, and you just like it was either that car or the Perennial. So, I actually owned a Moonbeam Custom back in the day, and I made it look like absolute crap. and I sold it because it was worthless. Like it, I don't even know why I bought it. I guess I feel like the Moonbeam Custom is that car you buy to flex on your friends. Say, look at me, I spent $1 million on a van. Why? Because I can. Because they made one. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I think I know what I want to do next time now. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll be back in a couple days with a new video. Alright guys, see you next time. Bye bye.